So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trauma Theory. It's done. It's over. Zaniolo is gonna become a new Galatasaray player. And I promise this is gonna be the last live stream dedicated on this topic. I feel like in these past weeks, all we've been really talking about, apart from games and, reactions of games and all of that, was linked to Zaniolo. It's been a pain. It's been a pain. And I promise this is the last one because in a few hours, Zaniolo should put his signature in Galatasaray's contract, become a new Galatasaray player, experience the Turkish league, and leave the Serie A in January after a breakup. Because at the end of the day, it is a breakup. I think we have to call it a breakup because at the start of the season, yes, maybe Zaniolo wanted to leave, but it wasn't obvious. It wasn't made. He definitely wasn't intending to leave in January. Then something got wrong, something broke. He made several mistakes, and it led to a relationship between him, the club, the manager, the players, and the fans, which unfortunately is impossible to rebuild. And I've said this yesterday, I've said this in past streams, but I'm going to say for one last time. I'm happy he left. I'm happy for us. I'm happy for him because, I'd rather he plays than sit on the bench. In fact, not even on the bench, just outside of the project for 6 months. I'd rather he plays. I don't hate the guy. I respect the guy, and I hope him. I wish him all the best in Turkey. So that's definitely something which I'll say. But unfortunately, the situation is this. Unfortunately, it's a breakup because he made mistakes. He joined Galatasaray. In my opinion, it could be argued way too early because, as people are saying already in the chat, 23 years old to go in the Turkish league isn't the best of things. But, I'm going to tell you one thing. In fact, mark my words for this, because I think Zaniolo's plan is very, very simple. Zaniolo always prioritized AC Milan. Like, since even this summer, we can say, his priority was moving to Milan. In fact, in this January window, he gave the priority to AC Milan to try and, advance a good offer. And he kind of wished and hoped Roma would have accepted that offer. But then Milan cut themselves out of the race because they said they weren't in a position to sign him. My theory behind this Zaniolo move to Galatasaray is very, very simple. Is because Zaniolo joined Galatasaray because he would rather play football than sit outside of a project for 6 months and not play football for 6 months. Therefore, he said, right, let me go to Turkey. Let me go in a league where the competition isn't massive, where I can easily win the league. And let me be a big part of this Galatasaray project for these next 6 months, no, 5 months until June. Let me show everyone the player that I am. Let me show everyone the potentials, which in these past seasons at Roma, I haven't fully kind of shown. And then I hope that Milan are going to buy me in the summer. That is, and I'm confident about this, Zaniolo's plan. Zaniolo's plan is exactly that. In fact, why is it that the only little obstacle and the only little delay in the deal between Roma and Galatasaray, why is it that the only obstacle in it, the little delay which was in these last few days in the deal, was to do with his release clause? Why is it? Is it a coincidence? No, it's not. Zaniolo is not planning to stay at Galatasaray very long. And I'm sorry if there are many Galatasaray fans here. I think what Zaniolo's project is, let me join Galatasaray because I'm not going to play football in these next 6 months if I stay here. And if I don't play football in these next 6 months, then really my dream, which is Milan, are really not going to buy me. So let me go to Galatasaray. Let me show everyone the talent I have. Let me start bagging goals. Let me do all of that. Let me win the league with Galatasaray. That kind of reopens up the attraction towards Zaniolo. And in the summer, his agent knows that Zaniolo's priority is Milan. And his agent, as soon as the season ends, will contact Milan and say, the The guy wants to join you, so please offer something so he can get back to Italy. And I know it's complicated. I know it's in a way kind of jeopardizing this Galatasaray deal. It's a good move from him. I'm happy he accepted this because I would rather he plays football than not play football. I don't hate the guy. I've said this already. I don't now rate Zaniolo as a pigeon. I don't hate Zaniolo. I'm disappointed in Zaniolo, and these are two different things. I've already said them. I don't hate the guy. It's not like if I see him on the streets and I'm going to slap him, I'm still probably going to ask a picture with him, but I'm disappointed in him because I was really, really, really intending to see a potentially new Totti style of player at Roma. And in the first seasons prior to his injuries, he was great, he was phenomenal, he gave massive impacts to games, then those injuries broke him, he was never the same player. And that vision of my player, which was Zaniolo, kind of crumbled down. But I think this is the plan. I think, Zaniolo himself knows that this move to Galatasaray, as much as it's his career and he is the one who has to take decisions and not football fans in general, but the only thing which you're seeing in Zaniolo's comments, under Fabrizio Romano's comments and all of this is, oh my God, this is such a downgrade move. Realistically speaking, in the back of everything, this is a downgrade move. Because apart from 3 Turkish teams, Besiktas, Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, where is the competition in that league? It's a league which, as I said before, it's a league which is growing because Turkish teams are investing more money in players. They're investing more success in the Turkish league. They're making the league more enjoyable. However, it will be a move which will not see him. We won't see Zan. My view, again, I may be wrong here, but what I think is, max, we will see Zaniolo wear a Galatasaray shirt for 2 seasons. Max. 2 seasons max. Because, in fact, mark my words, even before 2 seasons, even before he's going to get back to this area. 100%. He's not going to come back to Roma. He's going to come back to this area. I think Milan is going to be his next team. And it's kind of controversial for me to already start speaking about his new team. But what I view from this is he chose Galatasaray to make himself attracting yet again and hope that Milan in the summer or even in the January next window will pay the money to sign him. Because, again, even knowing his attitude and his character really well, I cannot see Zaniolo play for Galatasaray more than max 2 seasons. I just can't. I can't see it happen. So that's, I think, Nicolo Zaniolo's plan. That's the plan, in my opinion, which he has in himself, which he has in his mind. However, I think it would be wrong for him to kind of underestimate this Galatasaray move and go, right, I'm joining Galatasaray, now I'm going to become the best player in the team. No, don't do that. You've already done that at Roma very often. Don't make the same mistake at Galatasaray. You're not a Roma player anymore. I have nothing to do with you anymore. But if there's one advice which I can give you is, do not think that you're going to become the best player automatically just because you're coming from the Serie A and you're going to the Turkish league. Don't think that. Because Galatasaray have got interesting players. The Turkish league have got interesting players. So that's something which he has to cancel from his mind. Because if he goes to Galatasaray with a vision of him being the best out of everyone, then he's going to crumble there too. So yeah, at the end of the day, I had my concluding statement on Zaniolo yesterday. The only last things which I can say is, I will miss the player, I will not miss the person. And that's, I think, how we should sum things up. Because the player, in my opinion, was a good player. A lot of potentials. The player had a lot of talent. The player had been destroyed by injuries. I will miss the player. I will miss the player. I will miss the player who scored 2 goals against Ludogorets. I will miss the player who scored 3 goals against Bodo last season. I will miss the player which we had before his double ACL tear. But at the end of the day, as much as part of me misses the player, will miss the player, the other part of me will not miss the person. And a football player, a good professional football player, is half football, half person. If your person attitude doesn't work, if your man grown up attitude doesn't work, you're not going to go anywhere. And this is for every athlete out there. You know, if you're a little kid trying to become a football player, don't just focus on your football skills. You have to focus on your attitude, your mindset, your approach, and all of that. Because the Zaniolo example is a very big one. So yeah, that's definitely something which I'll say. Right, let's move on and speak about not Zaniolo for a second. Let's speak about Genie for a few seconds. And then I just want to explain what happened last Saturday after the game with the Red Star Belgrade fans. Because I've received a lot of Instagram DMs actually asking what happened, how it happened, why there were Red Star Belgrade fans in Rome. So I'll give a few words on that just to explain the situation. But first, Genie, Roma are already thinking about extending Genie's loan. This is something which PSG obviously need to agree on, and I fully think that this is something which will fully depend on how Genie will play in these next months. As I said yesterday, Genie yesterday had a good session with the academy squad, therefore high intensity, maybe played a few games, and he's getting closer. He's getting closer. He will be subbed in these next few games. He will have full 90 minutes, I'd say, in a few weeks. And the thing is, I think Genie will be back in max 3 weeks, fully 3 weeks. So yeah, that's definitely something which I will say. However, in order for us to extend Genie's contract, we have to see what kind of player Genie is after this injury. Because Genie is a phenomenal player. Genie is a massive experienced player. But the problem is, he will not be the same after this injury. If he plays as he was a Liverpool player after this injury, then obviously loan him, because he will massively help the team. He will massively help the environment and the manager too. But I think it's very early to start thinking about an extension in contract, because let's focus on Genie coming back and playing first, and then let's see how he adapts, let's see how he evolves, let's see what kind of player he becomes. After that, if the results are positive, if he gives an evident impact to games, then obviously we have to loan him, because that's, he's a very important player. But we shall see how he turns back, because it's a fragile injury, it's a tough injury, let's not forget. And it's definitely something which has to be said. Right, let me explain this situation between what happened on Saturday. I did post a YouTube short on this. However, I received a lot of Instagram messages trying to kind of asking me to explain the situation, because people didn't really understand what happened. So after the Empoli game, 10 minutes from the stadium, apparently, I actually risked, because I was pretty close to where that situation happened. I didn't assist to this, but obviously I've read it online, I've seen videos. A group of 30 Red Star Belgrade fans kind of ambushed the Fedain group. Now, the Fedain group is kind of one of the ultras groups of Rome, of Roma. And they ambushed them. So these Red Star Belgrade had a leader in the Curva Sud who was a spy, kind of spied the entire situation. And then there were 30 Red Star Belgrade Ultras fans outside the stadium, which waited until this Ultras Roma group exited the stadium and ambushed them. They beat some members up, and they stole some objects. Now, a lot of teams have shown, if we want to call it, solidarity to Roma. Lazio ultras groups have shown solidarity to Roma and have backed Roma after this. The problem is, what has this got to do with the Serie in general? These Red Star Belgrade fans were linked with Napoli fans. In football we have alliances. We are allied with Atletico Madrid, for example, with Panathinaikos, for example. We were, Lazio is allied with West Ham, and Inter Milan, Napoli are allied with Red Star Belgrade. So there are a lot of allies in football which team up together, and yeah, I mean, what basically happened is that the Napoli fans and these Red Star Belgrade fans teamed up together to kind of ambush our fans. Again, this is something you can't do, which is why people are asking for a penalisation for Napoli fans, not a point deduction. Point deduction won't happen for this, but it it could lead to fans being prohibited to go into stadiums and all of that. The problem is, in fact, before reaching the conclusion, people have asked myself why there were Red Star Belgrade in Rome. Now there was the Euro League in basketball, so like the Champions League of basketball, and Red Star Belgrade played against, I don't follow basketball, but it was a team in northern Italy. So these Red Star Belgrade Ultras fans were already in Italy to assist a basketball game. And after this basketball ended, which was on Thursday, during the weekend they came to Rome and did this to Roma fans. Now the problem is, I'm kind of I'm preparing everyone here, but we're all aware that if our banners, which these Red Star Belgrade fans stole from us, if these banners which they stole from us appear this weekend in Napoli's stadium, so if these Red Star Belgrade fans got these banners from us, stole these historic banners from us, gave them to Napoli fans, and if Napoli fans display these Roma banners in their own stadium this weekend, we all need to be aware that a war is going to start. Like, obviously, not a grand scheme war, like not a war, but you see what I mean. Like, you just know that if these banners get displayed this Saturday or Sunday, whenever Napoli's playing at home, if they get displayed there by Napoli fans, Roma fans are gonna melt down. Like, I'm not joking, there is gonna be like a general conflict is gonna start. And that's something which I hope is not going to happen, because the situation is already very fragile in these past years between Napoli fans and Roma fans. If we make this situation worse, if we exacerbate this situation, the second we face Napoli in a potential Coppa Italia final in a few years' time, there are going to be deaths. Like, so we really have to avoid this. But that's kind of the situation. That's kind of the situation. We've got a lot of Turkish fans in the chat. Jesus Christ, the spamming of Turkish flags. Again, don't hype yourself up, lads. I mean, I don't know if you speak English. He's a good player, but he's not Cristiano Ronaldo, so he's gonna definitely give impacts to your team. But don't you're not getting Messi. That's all I'm saying. As a Gala fan, I want to learn how this problem developed. This problem developed because his attitude is shit. Like, prepare. You're getting a player with a good prospect, with good talent, but a very bad attitude. So that's something to prepare you guys. And that's something which has to be said. Right. I'm about to end the stream. Let me just read a few comments, because I mean, we've got a lot of Turkish comments. I don't speak Turkish, unfortunately. We should now focus on Greenwood from Man United or Zaha. Greenwood from Man United. Like, do we really want to get a player after all of that, all that happened to him? I think the Greenwood situation in buying a Greenwood player is a big risk. Again, I know he was found guilty apparently, but innocent, but I don't know. I'd rather Zaha than Greenwood, to be honest with you. Um, Simon Cassano is nobody who never achieved anything in football. They're criticizing Mourinho. Cassano's just a sore head. Leave him alone. He thinks he knows a lot about football, but he really doesn't. So leave him alone. He's got nothing to worry you guys. Um, if the earthquake had not happened, there would have been 50,000 Galatasaray fans at the airport for Zaniolo. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good that you're showing this appreciation to him, but just prepare that you're not getting a standout player. You're getting a good player, but you're not getting a world class player, and you're getting a player with a bad attitude. Simon, I don't want your YouTube journey to end once you finish your school, please. I love this channel too much. Oh my god, you're gonna make me tear up. No, why? Let's not say that. We've got a long way to go. We've still got like more than 1 year till my school ends. So for at least 1 year, it's more than 1 year's time. Let's enjoy the moment. But who knows what the future will have? I mean, regarding of this becoming a full-time job or not becoming a full-time job, I am gonna still continue uploading. Obviously, if I go to college, I won't be uploading to the rate that I am now at school. But obviously, because of understandable reasons. But yeah, let's not think about that. That's gonna happen in a long time. We've still got one year and a half, I'd say, to enjoy before my school finishes. And who knows? Maybe a lot of things can change before my school finishes. All you want to do, all I'm asking you to do right now, if you like the channel, if you want to see a future of this channel, is subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Smash that subscribe button if you're new here. Smash the like button. It supports me a lot. If ever in the stream right now, regarding or if you're a Galatasaray fan or a Roma fan or a Fenerbahce fan, casually in a Galatasaray live stream and Roma live stream, smash the like button, share the link on the channel with your families and friends, and if you do all of these, then yeah. Simon, how are you gonna to cope with your Europe and top four since we can't use second squad? Book. I mean, I think the priority is top four. Europa League is just a competition to make our team prestigious. But let's focus on the present. We've got Lecce on Saturday before thinking about Europa League. Let's not forget the Saturday game is a crucial game. You have more time in uni than high school. Yeah, no, I think what he means is that obviously I'm not planning to go to uni in Italy. I'm planning to abroad. So obviously stadium vlogs and all of those things won't happen. If I'm not a full-time YouTuber and I go to uni overseas. But yeah, don't worry. Don't make me anxious about that. We've got a lot of time left. We've got like 1 year and a half before my school ends. So let's focus on the present. But I'm glad you enjoy the channel, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, the job here is to just show the passion of Roma fans to international fans. To everyone out there. So if you enjoy it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will catch you tomorrow for more updates. Next few hours are important to see if Zaniolo signs his contract. He's currently on a private plane on his way to Istanbul, and we'll see how he kind of adapts to the earthquake situation. That's definitely a controversial point. But again, once again, my Persian thoughts go out to every single Turkish population, Syrian population who got affected by the tremors of the earthquake. And yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow. Simon out, subscribe, smash the like button, and if you want, follow me on Instagram too in the red box down below. I'll catch you soon. Simon out.